Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Good news, if true. Donald Trump says hopefully the Russians and the Ukrainians will make a deal this week. Well, he knows something that we don't know. That's for sure. That's for sure. Now, I'm going to talk about this issue of what kind of peace plan Trump actually has in mind. We got some hints from him. Actually, they're not hints, they are straight statements. What he would like to take and give and get. Unfortunately, Donald Trump thinks, and the Russians still allow him to think, that he is in charge of everybody. Why they allow him? They allow him as far as he's doing what they want him to do. If Trump says, okay, your four non-negotiable are bad, we're not going to agree to them, immediately you're going to see the Russians telling him, actually, you're not a negotiator here, back off. So they're going to use him as far as he agrees to talk to them and, negotiate. Remember, Trump cannot negotiate with the Russians from a position of blackmail that he does with everybody else. All right, let's see what's going on with this Trump peace plan. DPA International. Trump says, hopefully, Russia and Ukraine will make a deal this week. Good for you. Why, you lost some weight, Trump? US President Donald Trump on Sunday sounded an optimistic note in the Ukraine conflict. And I'm quoting, hopefully Russia and Ukraine will make a deal this week. He wrote in all capital letters on the social network Truth Social. And I'm quoting again. Both will then start to do big business with the United States of America, which is thriving, and make a fortune. Well, I gotta say this before I go any further. Money is not everything in life. Having a good financial position is not everything, or is not the main goal. Well, it's true that it's based on our preferences. For some could be, but for others is definitely not. Some others could see relationships as being more important. Some other people could be, learning. Some other people would be, getting involved in an activity, like, painting, like arts, could be more important than the goal of making big business. And the United States of America doing big business with US in what terms? Is it only because US will help you not be bombed? So is it like, if I agree with you, you're going to bomb me and destroy my economy and my country, therefore it's going to be good business? I think with or without the United States of America, the world is just fine. Like with anybody or without any other countries on this planet. This kind of attitude could signal a certain kind of mental situation here. All right, let's go to the second article. This comes from Ukrainska Pravda. Trump's Ukraine peace plan includes recognition of occupied Crimea and neutral zone around Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. This according to Wall Street Journal. So Trump says, you know what? We are going to recognize Crimea being Russian. And the Russians are like, we don't give a shit what you recognize or not. Move on. Okay, that's the answer. So he thinks that, I'm going to explain this. He thinks that this is an important, how should I put it, concession he does to the Russians. The Russians don't need anybody to recognize anything. Nothing. Why would they need? That's the first one. The second one, he wants a neutral zone around Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant under US control. So these guys are delusional. They lost in Ukraine. That means they did not kneel Russia. That was the whole goal. They scramble like a paperclip operation to get the scientists from the Nazi Germany. So they scramble to get whatever resources they can get, plunder Ukraine, because they don't have access to the big room of goodies, which is Russia. They get something, but they think, I should take this from Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. Are you crazy? Do you think the Russians will give you anything? No. What you do with the Ukrainians could be possibly valid if we agree with it. You can make a deal right now with the Ukrainians. Yeah, we're going to take over your resources. Once the Russians, if they continue and they take over, that's going to be all like the Iran nuclear deal that the Americans, Trump, I don't like it. buy, I withdraw from it. So the Russians can say, this is your agreement with Zelensky, with the minerals. Buy, come talk to Papa. Could be. So this is what these guys are. Oh my God, this Crimea, we're going to recognize it. You have nothing, man. You have nothing. All right, here it is. As I said, the Russians will use him as much as they can. Anybody would do this. So Trump with Crimea, he does this. He inflates his aces that are not aces. It's like you and I, okay? I inflate things that you don't want. Let's say, you know what? We're going to negotiate about your car. But in the negotiations, I might give you these glasses and you drop the price. I might give you these glasses and you say, but I don't need your glasses. The glasses were not in the conversation. Oh, yes, they are. Yes, they're very good glasses. Yeah, but I don't want your glasses. So he puts I would recognize Crimea. That's zero. It's like, I'm going to do this concession for you, giving you Crimea. I'm going to give you this. Plus, you're going to drop from your car price, okay? But I don't need your glasses. Your glasses are not needed in the conversation. I don't need them. The same here. The fact that you recognize Crimea, do you think is going to be a token for you to negotiate? Exactly. That's what Trump does right now. Inflates the negotiable and non-negotiable. The aces he thinks he has. He creates aces. They're not aces, actually. All right, move on. So the Wall Street Journal has reported the U.S. is awaiting a response from Kiev on its peace plan proposals, particularly regarding the recognition of Crimea as Russian and Ukraine's refusal to join NATO. Got it? So far, the Russians obviously won. I want this, which is already ours, according to them, and then you do not join NATO. Furthermore, the US has been considering the idea of a neutral zone around Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. But it's not only that. I will show you. So, a quote from Wall Street Journal. Ukraine is under pressure to respond this week to a series of far-reaching Trump administration's ideas for how to end the war in Ukraine by granting concessions to Russia, including potential U.S. recognition of Russia's 2014 annexation of Crimea and excluding Kiev from joining NATO. The U.S. is now waiting for Kiev's response, which is expected to come at a meeting of U.S., Ukrainian, and European officials in London later this week. So that's where the things finally probably will explode or implode. Then, if there is a convergence among the American, European, and Ukrainian positions, the proposals could be floated to Moscow. All right, let's go to the next one. Ukrainska Pravda. Trump hopes Russia and Ukraine sign deal next week and make a fortune. Money, money, money. Okay. U.S. President Donald Trump has expressed hope that Russia and Ukraine make a deal, and start doing big business with the United States of America. Well, sometimes you think, who needs who? United States of America needs Russia, or Russia needs United States of America? I think it's both need one another. Both have to gain if they do business together. The problem is the proportion. Well, the proportion will be negotiated, obviously, but if you leave, as they say, the free market to adjust itself, the invisible hand of the free market, then yes, we'll see who's going to benefit more. The Russians have resources and capital, not capital as well, but potential. The Americans have what? They claim technology. First, how is that hypersonic missile going? Is the test going okay with that? So whenever you hear the Americans telling you, we are maybe that was 100% valid before, the technology and so on. But nowadays, I'm not sure if the scientists with DEI infested are still able to create something. They can't build the hypersonic missile. The Chinese have it. God damn it. The Iranians claim they have it. The Russians have it for years now. And we're not being able to do that, but we sent a man to the moon. Come on now. All right. So here it is. Hopefully, and I'm quoting, Russia and Ukraine will make a deal this week. Both will then start to do big business with the United States of America, which is thriving and make a fortune. All right, man. That's good. Next one. Let's see what the Russians think about this. Sputnik. U.S. peace plan on Ukraine. Way of grabbing more resources? ? This is Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. Let me show you where that is located. So this is Ukraine. This is the Dnieper River, cutting, so it's on the Dnieper River in Zaporizhzhia. Correct. And here is Zaporizhzhia, and this flows, clap up, and here is the Enerhodar. Energodar is right here. This is no more, it's just a river, because someone blew up the Novokakovka, I think, is dam. So here is the Enerhodar. This is the power plant. This is at the border of Zaporizhzhia Oblast with Donetsk Oblast, right here. This is Donetsk River going down and floating into the Black Sea. See that? Comes like this, this is Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, goes like this and goes into the Black Sea, the Crimean Peninsula, the baboons in Romania, and there you have on the biggest map. All right, let's see what the Russians say. The Trump administration calls for designating the territory around Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant as neutral that, and I'm quoting, could be under American control. The Wall Street Journal reports, no wonder the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant has attracted attention from the Americans, as it's the largest of its kind in Europe. Still, the nuclear power plant has been under Russia's control since March 2022. I'm quoting, Director Yuri Chernychuk, very Ukrainian name, underscored last month that the nuclear power plant belongs to Russia and will be operated by Russia, dismissing any possibility of US or Ukrainian control over the facility. Well, let me tell you this. It doesn't matter what people say today. Tomorrow, that could be changed. And what was decided tomorrow could be changed the next day. So don't get tangled. You said so, or even you signed. If you have enough power, your signature means nothing. We're going to negotiate. Why? Because I'm going to ignore that paper that we signed. Together, that's my signature. Still wet on the paper. I don't give a damn. You have to understand this if you don't know it already. That's how the big guys operate. Big guys just take. They don't ask. They ask you just to make everybody think that they still are, because you deal with bullies who want to be venerated as good people. In this case, Al Capone. Al Capone is very sophisticated and very superior and so on, but then he acts like a thug. But when he acts like a thug and you say, hey, wait a minute, it's a thuggish behavior, you're not supposed to say that, because he's going to turn it, he did it for you, for humanity, for compassion, empathy. I'm a good guy, I'm better than everybody else, but actually the actions show that he behaves like a thug. So with Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, they want to take over. Again, it's another supposed ace that Trump is going to flaunt around, like we're going to discuss that. There's nothing to discuss with. The Russians occupied it and they will hold it. They're strong enough to hold it. That's it. That's it, my friends. And the end of the story. And regarding Mr. Chernychuk, he has zero authority. If the Russians want, yesterday he's been, I don't know, in a pig farm where they're farming the pigs. If they want. It's not he who says that underscored. It's not up to him. He doesn't own that. You have any military, Chernychuk? You have no military, so you're zero. Yes, everything is based on if you have this. If you don't have this, buy, go. You have money to buy this in order to be what? No. That's why these oligarchs or whatever billionaires are zero. In front of a state. A state has the military, comes over with a signed court order from the judge, warrant, they get you legally. With two guys with armed, hey, here is the paperwork. Come with us. What do you think Musk will do? Give them money? Buy an army on the spot? If he's not in Russia already, then he's toast. He's gonna cooperate, like Durov from the Telegram. So let's go back. Chernychuk is just a blah, 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 blah. The Russians will not give American access to Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. Why would they? I mean, the Americans want to take over Ukraine and then Russia. There are resources, economy, politics, nuclear armament, and so on. That's what it is. Enemies. A competitor, they call them. Partners. In crime, not yet. And now they negotiate? No, you lost. And now he's like picking up whatever he's left. I'm leaving, baby, I'm leaving. I mean, your husband is coming. Well, you pick up your fucking underwear maybe and you get out. But you try to. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on to the Russia Today and see what these guys, how they see it. Trump hopeful for a Russia-Ukraine peace deal this week. Moscow and Kiev has accused each other of violating an Easter truce. Doesn't really matter at this point, move on. All right, and the same thing, hopefully, paparaka tsakapaka, US president has expressed hope that Russia and Ukraine could reach a peace agreement within days. Peace agreement, suggesting that both nations could instead turn their attention to trade with the United States of America. Well, first, who stopped trading with whom? It was the United States of America who stopped trading with the Russians and imposed sanctions, not the Russians. So you have to come back here. No, the Americans say, no, I'm leaving, and then you need to follow me. I don't want to follow you. It's a big world out there. Yeah, I would benefit a little bit more if I do business with you, but I can just fine do business with other countries. If you are around or not, the world is not going to explode or implode. So again, they do business with the United States of America. You stop doing business, not the Ukrainians or the Russians. Good luck to them. I hope things are going to hit the point where it's going to be a peace, but the peace will be I would say 90% Russian, 10% American, and the rest are irrelevant. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.